So it's time to record another episode of Survival with Fragger, and I figured why not take you guys along for the ride. Now of course, every single Survival with Fragger episode has an episode plan, and my plan for this episode in particular is to do some base improvements, because the base really needs some improvements. There's a lot of really small, annoying things in the base that bother me, and I just haven't gotten around to them yet. And as far as the intro is concerned, because every single one of my episodes does have a unique intro, I'm gonna be killing the withers that I was supposed to kill in the last episode that I completely forgot to include at the end of that episode, and I didn't realize that I had forgotten to do that until after I had exported the video, and I didn't really feel like recording that part and then editing it into the episode and then re-exporting the episode. The episode was already a little bit late as it was, and that would have just added way too much time to it, so I decided to just save it for the next episode and then we can do an intro out of it. So that's what we're doing today. So I haven't recorded the intro yet, so I'm gonna go get that done really quick, and then once that's done, we can hop into replay mod in Premiere Pro and start making this episode. So I just finished recording this intro, which I actually recorded a couple of days ago. As you can probably tell, it is a different day now, but the intro is done being recorded, so we can start editing that, and so let's hop into replay mod. So we are here in replay mod now, and I do want to quickly change the FOV because I like getting my replay videos at a tight FOV, and I also want to turn this on. Creator overlays, link down in the description if you want the rule of thirds grid line in Minecraft. But now we can start getting these shots here, and I want to get 3 shots in total. One of them is going to be a tight shot of me popping into place here in the end. The second one is going to be a wide shot, which is going to end up being the title card. And the third and final shot is going to be another tight shot of me digging out the area underneath the end portal. But I am going to get the keyframe set for this first shot, and then I will show you guys the results and kind of walk you through the process that I went in making this. Okay, so I have this shot right here, which I will show you guys really quick. I think that this shot turned out pretty good. As you can see, I'm just standing here. I'm not actually popping into place, but then I walk up through there, and that is going to be a nice transition going into the wide shot, which is going to be up here somewhere. So that will be a nice transition, having me walk past that. But the reason why I was just kind of standing there and I wasn't popping into place is because I actually, and I did already render this shot, so I don't have to render it again, but I rendered it twice. And the first time I rendered it, it was a blank slate because you can actually toggle the visibility of characters in Minecraft. And if we go back here, you can see that my guy is not there anymore. So basically how I'm going to do this is I am going to go from the blank shot and then transition that into the shot with me there. And it will appear as though I kind of just popped into place. So that's how I'm going to handle that. But now we can move on to this wide shot here. And I want to go somewhere around here and kind of have my character run through the bottom of the screen here and then go off over here. So I need to figure out how I want to frame that. Okay, so this is the shot that I ended up going with. I don't really like that I was flying there, but there really isn't anything I can do about it. I already recorded this. But my guy just runs across the screen there and goes over to the portal. But that's going to be the title card. That is where the Survival of Fragger is going to show up. But now we need to get this last tight shot here, which is going to be of me digging out this area underneath the end portal. Okay, so this is what I have, and it's pretty simple. It's a standard shot of me digging it out. The only point of me doing this shot is to transition from the title card into me actually doing the episode. So this shot doesn't really need that much complexity. It works for what it is, and I think it's fine. That's all of the replay mod footage that I needed for this intro. So now we can start actually editing this in Premiere Pro. So I am going to get that started. Okay, so we are in Premiere Pro now, and I have everything set up. I have all of the bins over here with all of the footage that we just got. And now it is time to start editing this stuff into the timeline. So I'm going to get a rough cut done really quick of this intro and then kind of show you guys the results of that. Okay, so I have this intro cut together now, and it is very, very basic, hence why I called it a rough cut. But I will play this intro for you guys really quick so you can kind of see how this intro is going to work out. And there we go, that is the intro that I have right now. But yeah, it's a pretty simple cut here. As you can see, I have these two clips here. This is the blank shot here, and then that cuts into this shot, which is the shot of me actually there. And then this shot here is going to be the title card. And the reason why I added this marker here is because this is where the drop is in the music. And so that's when we want the text to be fully displayed on screen, and that's going to be useful for when we bring this into After Effects, which is what we are going to be doing next. Okay, so we are now in After Effects, and I have everything set up here. So this is the video that we are going to use for the title sequence, and then I also added in the marker there so we know that is where the drop in the music is going to be. So I'm going to get that text put up on screen here really quick so that we can actually start animating this intro. And now we have the text on screen here. So this is the main logo, and the way I am doing this is I have the survival with as a text layer, and then the fragger is also a text layer, and then we have this here. But anyway, for the animation here, we are going to be using this guy here, and we are going to add a position animate, and then we are going to add an opacity animate. And then we really just need the position, we need it to fade up a little bit, and then we also need the opacity to fade in a little bit. Okay, so this is what I have now for this intro, and you can see the text kind of just fades up like that. I think it is looking pretty good, but as you can see, this swoosh still kind of stays up. And so my plan for this swoosh is to have a little circle here that follows the path of the swoosh, and then we are going to mask it out so that it appears as the circle kind of passes over it. And so now that is done, and I think this title card has turned out pretty good. And so the text just fades up like that, and then the swoosh comes into place there. And that is it. So we can now bring this back into Premiere Pro and edit this into the timeline. And so now I have done just that, and we have this title card in Premiere Pro. And I also added in this over here, which is the actual footage for the episode itself. And so if we play through this, we can see how this intro turned out. So to start off this episode, we are going to be, and there is the intro, completely edited. I do still have all of this back here that I need to edit, but I will get to doing that later. It's mostly just cutting out the boring parts and leaving in the good parts. But that's it for the intro, and we can start moving on to the rest of the episode and getting that recorded and edited as well. The recording of this episode really has not gone to plan at all. I'm assuming you guys have watched this episode and you probably already know how the intro went. If you didn't, there are going to be spoilers ahead, so make sure you watch that episode before you continue watching this video. The segment after the intro, where I was building up the slime block elevator, the recording session didn't go super well with that, which is why I kind of ended it a little bit early and was like, I just want to finish this off camera and get this done and over with. Well, I just finished recording the segment after that, and while I was recording it, it went pretty smoothly, and I was like, okay, that was a good segment. Let's bring this into Premiere Pro and start editing this into the video. Well, that's when I noticed that for whatever reason, OBS decided to just not record the desktop audio. So that entire segment doesn't have any game audio in it, and now I am left with three options here. The first option is to just completely re-record that segment, which ideally I would like to not do. The second option is to just record all of the background audio that I need for the video and then just layer that in as needed in Premiere Pro, but that option is just going to take way too long and the final result is not going to be nearly as good as I would like it to be. And the third option, which is the option that I think I'm going to end up going with, is to just re-record the video but then leave the microphone audio alone. So hopefully this fix won't be too big of a problem, but I'll show you guys in Premiere Pro really quick what I'm planning on doing for this. So here we are in Premiere Pro, and as you can see, there is no game audio, which is this track right here. Yeah, if you play through this, let me get to a segment where it's actually very obvious and is very weird. So here in this segment, I just go up the slime block elevator. This design is much more compact, and the other design was, and it sounds so weird without the game audio. So you can kind of see why this is a pretty big problem that I want to fix. So my plan to fix this is to just cut this up with the microphone audio and then just see what segments I actually need to re-record the video for, so that I'm not having to re-record the entire session and I only need to do the parts that I need. That will just help save a lot on time. So yeah, hopefully this turns out really good and isn't bad, and hopefully you guys didn't even notice that this problem existed until I just showed it to you guys, because that is the ideal scenario. But anyway, I also wanted to show you guys this segment here, which is the like and subscribe segment, and I am very happy with how this turned out. It actually ended up turning out about as good as I was hoping it would. My plan for this was just to have me bouncing up and down on the slime block elevator like this. Remind you to hit that like and subscribe button, and then just kind of tell you guys to like and subscribe. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And for those of you who are wondering how I did this and how many takes it took, I just did it in one take because I was smart about how I handled this. Since I knew I wanted to use a replay video for the video element itself, I knew it wasn't 100% critical to have the audio of me talking line up perfectly with the video, because all I'm doing is just telling you to like and subscribe, so that is not really a critical element. And so I knew I just needed to record this in little segments like this, where I'm up in the air and you can see me. That's when I'm talking, and when I'm going away, I'm not talking at all. So while I was recording this, I was actually going up and down on the slime block elevator, and that is what this replay video is from. But if I messed up while recording this, instead of restarting from the beginning, I would just restart that one specific segment and just kind of re-record that. So that's how I did this segment, and I am very happy with how it turned out. I do want to add some amount of motion graphic element to kind of show the process of liking and subscribing or whatever, but that is my plan for the rest of this. I still have to add that, and I'm gonna add that in After Effects. That is kind of just a little update of how things are going right now, which is not super great, but hopefully the final result of this video will be really good. And you guys didn't even realize that the process of making this video was a little bit shaky. So I just finished recording the rest of this episode of Survival with Fragger, and I think it has turned out pretty good. So really all I have left to do is just edit the last part of this episode into the video, and then it'll be ready to be posted to YouTube and viewed by you guys. But I do want to show you guys how I resolved the issue of OBS just not recording game audio for one of these segments. So the solution to this ended up not being the solution that I said I was going to go with. So if we hop back into Premiere Pro really quick, I can show you guys what I ended up doing. So I initially said that I was going to re-record the video but then leave the audio alone. And that's not actually what I ended up doing, because after trying to get the video and audio to sync up, because I do have some moments in here where I'm trying to point things out, it just ended up being a little more difficult than I thought it would be. So I started looking for ways to get back the game audio as easily as possible, and there was a solution that I didn't propose that actually ended up being the easiest solution. So if we do a quick match frame on this audio clip here, you can see that I was recording in replay mod here, because I did record this entire segment in replay mod like I do with all the segments in my videos, just so that I can get little replay snippets if I need to. So as a result, I was able to actually go back into replay mod and go into the first person view of my character and just play through the entire replay recording while recording in OBS, and I was able to get back most of the game audio. Unfortunately, there are a few audio cues that I was not able to get back, like walking around, flying with the elytra, and punching certain objects. I wasn't able to get that audio back, but it did get back most of the audio. As you can hear there, it did get back the piston audio and a few other things. Because of that, I didn't end up having to re-record this segment, which was very nice. But if you do listen back through this segment here where I'm showing off the piston elevator and then going over what other improvements I want to do in the base, if you listen close enough, you won't be able to hear footstep audio, there won't be any elytra audio, and when I'm punching the staircase right there, you won't hear that audio either. Now, if we play through this block area, and that is because this design is much more compact, and the other design was extending out a little bit too far that way. When you play through that, you can hear that there's music being played in the background. So I don't think it's that big of a deal anyway. You're probably not even gonna be able to hear it that well, even if it was there. But in all of the other segments, the footstep audio and stuff is there. It's just, unfortunately, it's not there in this segment. So that's how I ended up resolving that issue. But as I said earlier, I am done recording this episode, and all I have to do is just edit the last segment into the video, and there really isn't much to talk about there. So I'm gonna get that done and get this video ready to be posted, and I think that's gonna be it for this one, because there isn't really much else to show behind the scenes here. So if you did enjoy this style of video, then please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. It really helps me out a lot. And if you guys have any suggestions for other content you want to see on this channel, or you have any suggestions on ways I can improve this type of content, then please make sure to leave those down in the comment section. But thank you guys for joining me on this ride and seeing how I make my videos for my main channel. And of course, if you haven't seen the final video that we made in this video, then there will be a link to that down in the description. And don't forget to check out my main channel. And of course, I'll see you guys next time.